Good afternoon, this is Denis Oakley, and today I'm going to be talking about Google's business model. Right, Google has two types of customers. The first customers are the users who search, and the second type of customers are the businesses who advertise. Right, so pretty much all the customers that Google has, that there are anybody who is looking for some form of information, and Google's value proposition is to find information for people. Yep. That's why you go to Google, because you want to find out something. You want to find out a website, you want to find when somebody's open, you want to find an answer to a particular question, you want to find a particular piece of knowledge. That is what Google provides as its value to its free users. The businesses who advertise it on it, the value that Google provides to them is targeting. It can very precisely target customers who will be interested in what the businesses are selling. So for example, if somebody is looking for a bicycle and they say buy bicycle New Orleans, an advertiser in New Orleans can purchase impressions on that particular keyword with a very high chance of being able to convert the customer to go to his site, and the advertiser then is able to sell the customer a bicycle, and then the sale from that pays for the advertising that it has paid for on Google. However, for all this to work, and this is I think what an awful lot of people miss when they think about Google's business model, is Google has an awful lot of partners, and these are websites. Most websites in the world allow Google to go through their website, see what's on the website, and Google then uses that information to create its index, its list of all the sites and all the information on those sites. If people didn't let Google do that, if people did not let Google see what information it can find for free, then Google would not have a business model. Traditionally, this information has been incredibly difficult to obtain. If you think back to the early Petit La Rousse, the early Michelin guides, critics had to go to each individual restaurant in turn to find out where it was, what sort of food, what quality of food they provide. Google is able to do this all automatically. And this brings us on to what are Google's relationships. What relationships does Google have with its users, have with its advertisers? It has a minimal relationship. There's almost no human contacts. For a user, they type into a search bar, they gave a voice command, they use Google Assistant and give a voice command to that. No, there is no human interaction at all. It is all entirely mediated by computers. It is exactly the same for the advertisers who use one of the advertising programs, AdWords for example, to say these are the terms I want to bid on. They put in the details of the advertising campaign, and there is no direct involvement of a human right at the front. Even the customer service of Google is pretty much user-generated question and answer pages, FAQ pages. It is very difficult to ever speak to a real-life person who works for Google. Now, when we come to the channels, it's important to recognize that Google has a website, google.com. It also has YouTube. And people go to these websites. So you go to Google's website, that is its main acquisition channel for people. People go there and onto the ancillary sites, Google Drive, Gmail, I think Flickr's owned by Google, Waze, all these other sites, and they provide Google with information and outreach to customers. So those are the channels, and google.com is a very powerful website in its own right. And so basically Google then makes its money, makes it ka-ching from selling advertising, oops, sorry about that, to businesses. Yeah, users get to use Google for free. However, users do pay in a loss of privacy and giving away all their personal information for free to allow Google to target adverts for the advertisers far more effectively. So that's how Google makes its money. What are the resources? How does it build the infrastructure to do that? Well, it starts over here with the websites, and basically what it does first of all is its key resource is it's the index. It's a continually updated index of all the information on all the websites in the world. Yeah, it's gone everywhere on the web, it's read everything, and it's structured all that information and basically into a massive index like what you get at the back of a book. And now if you had to go through that manually, that would be incredibly time consuming, and Google prides itself by putting up its search results in a few seconds. And to do that, the second key resource are the algorithms that allow Google to analyze this vast amount of information and select the most relevant information that the user is searching for. And to provide the algorithms to keep all this going, it then basically needs computing power. And this you can treat in a number of ways, whether it's Google's private VPN, it's undersea submarine cables, it's huge data centers all over the place, and its army of software engineers, data scientists, etc., etc. Those are the three key resources that Google uses. And basically what it then does is it does software engineering to make all this far more effective and optimize it, and it uses data analytics to understand exactly what is happening. It's possible also you could say that it also buys other companies, other sources of information. I mentioned Waze, which is a route finding, traffic optimization consumer product, and that tells it where people are, where they're going, what they're doing. When you link that up with Google Maps, it knows who you are, where you've gone to, how you got there, where you're going next. So this gives Google an unparalleled amount of information into consumers' lives that it then uses to improve that targeting in order to sell more to business advertisers and thus to make more money. Now, obviously, the resources over here, the index, the algorithms, and the computing power cost shed loads of money, but it costs a lot less than the revenue that it brings in. So this is the people costs plus infrastructure, and that in essence is the Google business model. I haven't really focused too much on YouTube because YouTube is very, very similar. The big difference here is that Google owns the infrastructure on which all the videos are hosted, rather than the information being hosted on outside websites. And out of all Google's revenue, this business model provides 95% plus. all its other sources of revenue are pretty trivial and pretty insignificant. All the other projects like Google Project Loon, the self-driving car, Waymo, etc., they don't fundamentally make any money, so they don't contribute to this. They do, however, contribute to Google's protective moat, or as people call it, the kill zone around Google, which is a preemptive strike to stop anybody competing with it or effectively challenging it for its market dominance in the future. If you have any questions, please chuck them out in the comments below. Do subscribe and follow my channel, and if you're interested in startup strategy for the startups and small businesses, please head over to denis-oakley.com for more great information. Thanks for listening. Speak to you again.